We will be touching up on a few mega trends impacting Europe and resulting opportunities, ranging from the aging population in Europe and the resulting opportunities around enhanced human and robotics. We'll talk about connectivity with opportunities around connected cities and mobility. We'll talk as well about back to basic workplace evolution, future of workplace, future of workforce, and resulting opportunity in the facilities management space.
European healthcare operates under intense structural pressure, and aging population drives higher demands for complex care, while persistent workforce shortages, post-pandemic backlogs, inflation, and tight public budgets strain resources. Let's look at remote patient monitoring now. It can be called the Internet of Things at the heart of proactive care. Let's talk about the numbers. The European RPM market is projected to be around 6.8 billion in 2025 as in USD, and it's projected to grow to as big as 11.2 billion by 2030, delivering a 10.3 CAGR, firmly a double-digit territory. Leading in this space, we find companies like Philips, who have the healthcare suite connected care platform, which integrates Internet of Things, enabled wearables and cloud analytics for continuous monitoring of cardiac, respiratory, and post-acute patients.
What I was talking is mainly the evolution of the concept of autonomous city, which is an urban environment which will be driven and powered by AI, IoT, and advanced digital infrastructure. So what we see is actually the key shift when we are talking about to the autonomous city concept from the smart city concept. The key shift is actually to be able to monitor, manage, and optimize the overall city operations real time. And also autonomous is meaning, of course, the minimal human intervention. So, and actually it has critical building blocks. So it's not only about, one aspect of the mobility. And then when we talk about the cities, you need to talk about the safety concept. We need to involve energy into that. We need to talk about the infrastructure, but there are actually key building blocks of that. We are talking about, urban data platforms, digital twins, and also mobility as a service business models to evolve. And then finally, the integration opportunities. The question lies down into who will be the orchestrator of this autonomous city. So the players who can connect the mobility, energy, and the data together will be the places where the strategic value sits today.
Mobility is evolving and transforming to new levels, and the public transportation will play a critical role here in achieving sustainability and safety targets, and serving as a central pillar of upgrading our living and workplaces. Vehicles will no longer move passengers from left to right. They will function increasingly as a mobile data supply. Therefore, transport units will serve as data hubs, enabling fleet and mobility-wide optimization.
The truth is, facility management is not really a high growth area, but it is an absolutely enormous sector with extremely highly attractive investment opportunities, perhaps for slightly different reasons. High growth is an exaggeration, but solid underlying growth, a market or an industry that's ripe for consolidation, that's going through technology disruption, that is underpinned by critical attention to sustainability, drivers, decarbonisation, etc. A market that by its very nature is focused on resilient business models and repeatable and renewable revenue streams. In Europe, we spend $750 billion a year on facility management services. That's 2.5% of total GDP. There's not very many industries that you can say that about, that you talk about 2.5% of GDP is spent in a particular industry, and facility management is like that. 36% of FM services are delivered through outsourcing. That's kind of the competitive market where really we see the investment opportunities that we're talking about today, which in itself is over $250 billion opportunity. There's well over 1,500 FM companies operating in Europe at the $10 million plus. And now obviously at the top end of that, you've got many sort of multi-billion-dollar companies. And actually, it's also an industry with a very large tail, where there's a significant number of smaller players